Is this thing on? Oh, hi. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thanks for showing up. We're here at 18 Culpeper House. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in San Myshuno. And we are building for 2 best friends, Yerence Carr and Marcos Davila. You'll see those 2 later in the build for the tour at the end. These 2 have been inseparable since the 3rd grade is what I'm thinking, and their friendship has really stood the test of time. They grew up in a small Midwest town, think very Bible Belt vibes, and life took them on 2 very different paths after high school. Marcos had big dreams of making it in the music world, so he packed up and moved to San Myshuno. And if you watched my last video, you might remember his girlfriend, Hartley Evermore. What a fun name. It should be I don't know, she should be covering the Paramore cover band or something like that. But meanwhile, Yerence, he stayed behind for college, but things got a little complicated when he stayed behind. He came out to his family when he was still in college, and his mom wasn't exactly supportive of it and basically told him he had to move out. And obviously that whole situation was super rough, and it led him to dropping out of school, but it also pushed him to carve out his own space in the world. He started streaming, and over time built this amazing community of people from all walks of life. And now he's got a huge following, and he has a signature look. He wears star-shaped yellow sunglasses every time he streams. And it's become kind of his brand. So naturally, it's incorporated in his space in the apartment. Marcos, on the other hand, he's still grinding to get his big break in music. Aren't we all? I can relate to Marcos. He plays gigs wherever he can, but in the meantime, he's working part-time at a daycare, which, hint, hint, might just be an upcoming build. We will see. But yeah, these 2, they're a ride or die for each other. There's no plans of moving out, no roommate drama. They're honestly just living their best lives as 2 best friends in the city. I think Yerence is longing for love. He has the love bug trait. I gave that to him. I think he is just a hopeless romantic. He's looking for his husband, and he's ready to just start life and, I don't know, adopt kids? Maybe not. Actually, I don't really see that for Yerence. He probably more adopting dogs or something like that. But yeah, he's a hopeless romantic. He's constantly on, what is that Sims, a Tinder app? Oh God, I can't remember it. Cupid's Corner? Something like that. He's constantly on Cupid's Corner, just looking for the right one. But anyway, back to the apartment. We'll talk more about Yerence and Marcos later. Their apartment, I wanted to capture both of their personalities, but I would say that Yerence probably has a big influence for the majority of the apartment. I think he's very successful. He has the means to really outdo their apartment, and he's pretty stylish. I think he's really funky, fresh, modern, a little abstract, and some mid-century modern vibes. So I wanted to incorporate that. And I think for their rooms in particular, Marcos is a little bit more effortless musician vibe. A little messy. He's laid back, a little eclectic, right? So his space kind of has a bit more of those funkier elements thrown in, and a bit more grunge, and I bet it kind of just smells like bubbles, if you get what I mean. And for Yerence, I wanted to reflect his fun, over-the-top streaming persona, so we got a mix of modern and colorful with some funky lighting, and of course his signature star glasses make an appearance in the decor. Well, I guess it's not a star, but I gave him a neon glasses decor art piece so that it kind of just incorporates that. And then I think he has some commissioned and or fan-made art that has been sent to him, and you'll see that in the build too later. This is a CC build, by the way. I'm working on getting my mods folder together so you guys can grab everything I use. If you see something in the build you love, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to include it in the folder when it's ready. Just because I know I'm going to be working with CC a lot more in the future, I still want to do pack content as well. But CC is just, I don't know, it's just so fun to build with. There's so many options. I like that I have a limitless potential with CC. But I still do want to have stuff that's easy to just download, which, by the way, if you want to find any of my builds, I am on the Sims 4 gallery under flooploopsbuilds. So go ahead and look me up. That's also in the description box below my gallery ID. And yeah, eventually, like I said, I'll have my CC all linked for you to use. But now we're in the bathroom. The bathroom, I wanted it to be very, I don't know, clean and masculine energy. I don't really know, but I really liked how I did that little dig out for the shower. I just assumed like you wouldn't want water pooling on the main floor, so I liked having kind of like that sunken moment for the shower. And having that glass divider is really nice as well. And then I had to find a way to put that washer and dryer in there as well, so I kind of had to scoot everything over. But it is functional, and I just see it as being one of Yarence's like must-haves in an apartment when they were looking for apartments. He didn't care if it was stacked. He was just like, I need a washer and dryer in the unit ASAP. But then we're moving on to changing the lighting out. I really like these base game lights. I'm so glad they added them to the game. They're just really nice. They're really functional, sleek. You know, you can use them pretty much everywhere, like how I did here, kind of more modern like, or, you know, if you wanted to have kind of a more of a homey build. I really like those lights. I think they did a good job with that. And then I do incorporate some art here. The game, like the controller art, that's totally Yarence. Again, he streams. He's a streamer, so he streams video games. And I think he's just all about video games, which you'll see later in this console table. I'm like, why didn't I add the Sims 4 PS5 in here? Why didn't I put that in there? But I end up fixing that later. You don't see that in this build, but you'll see everything in the video tour at the end, of how everything just came together. And their kitchen, I really liked this green tone. It just felt different. It felt funky. It felt like something that would resonate with these two. And I like that it just gives me something a little different to look at. I didn't want a plain white kitchen. I like color in my kitchen at times, so this was really nice. And I think that for the most part, they would get a lot of cooking done. And I imagine that Yarence is probably the better cook. I think Marcos can throw down on certain things. But I think for the most part, Yarence is cooking, and always has a bottle of wine on hand. He just has to have that. Otherwise, you know, I think... Oh, and I forgot to mention, Marcos is vegan, or vegetarian, not vegan, vegetarian. So I think, you know, Yarence is very mindful of that and keeps the fridge stocked with a bunch of vegetables, a bunch of vegetarian foods, and whenever he's cooking for the both of them, he keeps that in mind. So I think he's just a very thoughtful friend. I really like these two as characters. I think I want to continue building on the story, and I don't know, we'll see where it goes from here. And like I said, he has a part-time job at a daycare. I'm excited to look at what that would look like, especially with the new pack coming up, the businesses and hobbies pack. That would be just, you know, really fun to build out. I'm excited. I know I said it last time, but I'm really excited for that pack. I know it's getting mixed reviews, but like, I don't know. That is all that I'm for in The Sims. As much as I love building homes in The Sims, apartments in The Sims, I equally enjoy building community lots. So I'm really excited for that functionality. It's just gonna expand the game, I think, a whole lot. Well, I'm hoping it does. We'll see, right? You never know with these packs. Sometimes they're great, and then sometimes they're like flops, which is just unfortunate. But so far, this one seems like it's gonna be really fun if it does what it says it's going to do. But now we're pretty much complete with the kitchen. It's pretty much done. I do add just that backsplash. I thought it added just a nice dark energy, not dark energy, but like dark mood to it, kind of just like tones it down a bit. And yeah, I think it's really nice. But I know that we're going to move on soon to the bedrooms. Oh, actually, nope. We're gonna do a little bar cart here now. Not bar cart, it's actually a bar shelf. I just thought it would be really nice. I think that Yarance and Marcos are really good at mixing drinks. I set their mixology level pretty high. I'm sure they love to entertain in this space, so I wanted to incorporate that, and I gave them a little bar cabinet. But eventually we are going to move on to the bedrooms. And we'll talk more about what I envisioned for those rooms coming up shortly. So first we go into Yarence's room. I wanted to give him, I start off with like kind of like this blue modern look in the apartment. In the video tour, it's very different. It actually ends up being a lot more colorful. Again, I wanted his personality to shine through with it. And what I originally had just wasn't giving that at first. I think he would love it, but I just didn't think that it was like his space, right? It felt very like guest bedroom to me. So I do go back and fix it up. And I add some like Funko Pop things that I found. A CC creator made some anime Funko Pops. And so I think Yarance is very big into anime as well. Video games, anime, movies, the whole shebang of it. So I wanted to incorporate that in this room as well. And then that little piece of art was kind of the inspiration for like his color scheme for his stream. I think that a fan probably made that art. Or my other thought was it's probably Hartley that made that for him with his other best friends that he has in the gaming community. And I just thought it was so appropriate because it looks like Yarance in the middle, to be honest. You'll see Yarance later, but it just looks like him. And I was like, well, this makes sense. Put this art right here. And then I think that box down there is like all of his fan mail stuff that he gets sent, and he just keeps it there for safekeeping. But here you go. I'm decorating his space a little bit more. It didn't make sense to me, honestly, to have like a neon sign at the front of his desk, because when you're streaming, you kind of want your background to look really nice. But you know, Sims. I mean, that's not a Sims thing. Maybe that's a me thing. But I just thought, well, it'd be easier to just keep the neon sign up there. It looked nicer. And then I add this little pig bird from the Cozy Gamer kit. Thanks, little Simsy. This pack came in clutch for this build, obviously, because he's a streamer and he's a gamer, so it just really helped out. And then I think that little llama piece, also, again, the sunglasses, I think someone probably made that for him, like some fan-made art. Because, yeah, I see him having, like, a huge following. So that's pretty much it for Yarence's room. But again, you will see that I update it quite a bit in the video tour to just reflect his personality more. Now we are in Marcos's room. At first I started with the blue again, and then I said, no, let's grunge it up, give him a black wall, and let's give him this lamp that I think he thrifted. Again, he's not in the most financially stable position. I think Yarance helps him out, obviously, but like, you know, on his own, he'd probably be in a much different apartment. And he spends all of his money on like his gear. And so here I am. I pulled out a bunch of stuff from CC creators that had a bunch of like musician stuff. I am like dying for a musician pack, like band pack. Oh, I can't wait. I feel it in my bones that it's coming. I know it's coming. Well, I don't know that. I can't say that. Sorry, Sims team. I'm not spoiling anything. I don't have any inside knowledge. But I like feel it in my soul. Like I need it. I feel like it's coming. I hope it's coming. But here we are. We're decorating, and I think those art pieces above his bed, Hartley did that. Yep, she is an artist, remember? So she definitely has made some pieces for Yaren's and Marcos's apartment. I think Hartley, like I said in my last video, I think Hartley and Marcos usually stay over at Hartley's apartment because it's just her. But she does visit and comes over often, you know, on her way to work, when she's walking, that they don't live too far away, or just, you know, on weekends when they're hanging out all together. But yeah, here is Marcos's room coming together. I do get rid of that amp under his desk. It obviously didn't let him use the table, so I had to get rid of it, but I thought it looked nice. It made sense, but it just wasn't functional, and I wanted the build to be functional. If I didn't want it to be functional, I would have left it because it just looks nice. And then I found these soundproofing little wall panels from a CC creator as well, and I thought it was perfect. I actually have a lot of experience with what a musician's room would look like. My husband plays the guitar and he's in a band, and I know firsthand how my office looks. It just feels like there's so much stuff all over the place. There's a mic, guitar cases, like there's just stuff all the time everywhere in the office. So I would build this and kind of like take a glance over and be like, yep, that's right. That's what that looks like. So I'm hoping that comes through. And if you know of musicians, or if you're a musician yourself, I hope it like you see the influence. Well, now we are moving on to the end of the video, and you'll soon go into a video apartment tour. I really enjoyed this build. I just think it screams them, you know? So of course, don't forget to like the video if you like this build too. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye, loves.